And then Auka, who didn't have a lot of sleep last night, is going to duel with an old deck of his. I call it water tides because it's a water deck, and I thought of another word that had to do with water. So here's water tide. This is one of my main decks that I used in Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship 2007, the video game from a couple of years ago. Back then, I really wasn't into competitive play. I just enjoyed playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Made some decks that I thought were pretty good, and this was one of my main decks back then. So yeah, if I look at it now, I'm like, yeah, okay, we didn't have synchros back then. We didn't have Xyzs back then, but this deck could definitely get an improvement. Would I go back to the game now? I'd definitely be able to improve it. I'd take out quite a few cards, put a couple of new in, reduce the number probably, because this deck is at 54 cards. I'm like, okay, you know what? I felt like using the deck. I hadn't used it before in a duel video, so let's do it. My water deck, starting off with Mother Grizzly, I'm like, he'll attack into me and I can just summon whatever I want. I know I can go to, I can get 400 extra attack points thanks to Steel Shell, so I decided to summon Revival Gem. Remember that episode in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where Yugi faced, I forgot his name, stupid out. The mime guy, who originally had Slifer the Sky Dragon. That combo with the gem breeding machine and everything. Yeah, remember that? Yeah, that's what Revival Gem is from. I draw into Terraforming, allowing me to search for Yumi Iruka to give my Revival Gem another 500 attack point boost. Now here comes the first part of the duel where Aoka makes a mistake because he's tired. The first the opponent takes 2400 damage. I'm like, why? Then I realized it was because that's the attack power of Revival Jam, but he has a 1700 attack point monster, so he should have 700 damage. Although I miscalculated and said 800. I'll make some more miscalculations or I'll forget things later on the duel. I don't even feel that tired, but apparently I'm not as focused to think of certain things. I only realize them like 10, 15 seconds later, when I've already made a move. But luckily I was able to do very well in the duel, so happy about that. Setting Penguin Soldier. If he attacks into it, I can just return his monster back to the hand. If he doesn't attack into it and place a defense position monster instead, I can just flip summon Penguin Soldier, get his monster back in the hand anyway, but then I'll return Penguin Soldier as well so that I can later reuse its effect. Then I don't have that normal summon for that turn, but I can just keep reusing Penguin Soldier's effect to clear his monsters, and possibly return Penguin Soldier as well. So in that sense, I keep hand-to-hand advantage, and I can keep direct attacking, which is very nice. Opponent has a defense position monster. We're never going to find out what it is, because I'm just going to flip summon Penguin Soldier, return his monster to the hand thanks to Penguin Soldier's effect, and also return Penguin Soldier itself. So as I explained, I can just set it again later and reuse its effect. Revival Gem attacks directly thanks to Yumi Iruka and Steel Shell's 2400 attack. That's very nice. So then, with 7300 life points the opponent still has remaining, that's 4 more attacks. See, I'm sorta tired, but haven't I been yawning in the last couple of videos? I need to go to bed earlier. That was the plan actually yesterday, but I stayed up till past 2 because there was supposed to be a Mario Kart tournament between 12 and 2. With the internet and the communities and Mario Kart, they're just really messing up and they weren't working, so that is very unfortunate. Was supposed to do another tournament kind of thing this weekend, but internet and the communities just don't want to work along. Animal Crossing, I'm having an issue with the internet as well with visiting other people's towns, so I'm going to check with my router info, my 3DS, and there's something with IP and DNS. I'm not really sure what it is. I'm not that much of a computer nerd or something that I completely understand that, but I'll find out. So here I tribute summon to Mobius to get rid of his 2 face down cards, because I'm like, okay, he didn't use them yet, but maybe they can stop me. Champion's Vigilance and Enemy Controller. Now Champion's Vigilance, I can understand why he didn't use it, because he didn't have any monster to meet its activation requirement, but why he didn't use Enemy Controller, I don't know. He could have stolen my Revival Jam, that he could have also just placed it in defense mode, even in as a chain to Mobius. Now here's another time where I make a mistake, because Mobius is at 2900 attack due to Yumi Iruka. I didn't realize until he started his turn. But yeah, my opponent said it was his or her first duel on Dueling Network, so it makes sense that certain things are forgotten. That you don't really realize certain things, because unlike it's not too likely that you're immediately super pro at all rulings and that you realize what a chain is. So I'm not gonna be angry or yeah. Everyone starts like where cliff91 is right now. I was there as well. Like people get angry at noobs and like, okay, you don't want to face noobs all the time. When I'm on a competitive duel for a duel video, when I'm using a competitive deck as well, I'm not looking to face someone who makes slow moves and makes mistakes often. If the opponent makes a mistake, that's fine. I make mistakes myself as well. But if you make like mistakes every turn and I've explained basic rulings, that's somewhat annoying if that's continuous. As again, making a mistake, forgetting a basic ruling happens to the best of us. Even the pros, even Billy Break, I don't know, those guys, the guys at World Championships, they make mistakes. Not a lot, but they make mistakes. So yeah, everyone started as a guy who didn't really knew much and thought that MST negates, and eventually, with the help of others, we learned. So let's all help the community learn Yu-Gi-Oh! And learn that MST does not negate, and then I shall see you in the next video.